welcome everybody to another live episode of Game Time here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, and for some damn reason, I can't find my Washington football team against the Pittsburgh Steelers here in Southern California. They say it's on Fox, but maybe they don't want to show those teams on Fox, those bastards, but we'll figure it out as we go along. I hope you're watching the game and watching us at the same time. Turn them down. You know they're boring. Watch the game, but listen to us talk about everything going on in the Week 13 of the NFL. Joined as always by my two co-hosts here, Mr. Jay Washington, recovering from the Lions, shellacking the Bears on a comeback there. How you feeling?
I don't want to discuss this.
You had no business winning the first one. So, I feel like it's even. They had no
I don't want to discuss this. I don't want to discuss this. Like,
we'll get to it at some point.
Jesus.
And Winston A. Marshall, did Dallas have they had the week off, didn't they? Was it
Tuesday?
They play tomorrow.
Because of Ravens again, which also bought them time to activate Lamar Jackson, by the way.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. I don't know what's going on in the NFL right now, dude.
I mean, they have fucked a number of these teams that are not handling their. I understand that COVID can strike in any form or fashion, so I'm not going to do that. But like a lot of these teams aren't following the proper protocol, delaying games, and we'll talk about the Steelers in a minute. Like I feel like they're owed some grievances. Jay said it too before the show. Like they are owed some due.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to our birthday boy, Eddie Haskell here. Drops a little comment. What's up, Rocha? Winston? Welcome, Devon Dudley. That's right. There you go. Testify.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to elevate our sports game here. Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say Haskell's a Sag. That's why I fucks with Haskell. That makes sense, man. That checks out. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday week, sir.
Yeah.
To everybody in the comments who are probably asking, just for the record, we didn't plan this with these glasses. Literally did not plan this.
You spend enough time staring at a computer screen all day, you start needing to like filter out that blue light. So we both happened to get blue light glasses. You guys saw me in these a couple weeks ago. He didn't realize he ordered the same fucking ones. So now we turned on the cameras and we were like, son of a bitch. I have some black ones around here somewhere. I just don't feel like finding them right now.
It was a great behind-the-scenes moment for sure. Seeing them discover that they're wearing the same glasses.
Roku just sat there and was like, oh, shit.
The game's about to start, just as a heads up, Rocha.
Okay. All right. I'm going to see if I can find it on one of these channels while I host the show. This is going to be exciting to get into the Week 13. But we should start there for sure. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, please, StreamLabs and SuperChats. This is how we make things happen here on the Outlaw Nation channel, especially on Game Time. How I pay these gentlemen through the StreamLabs and SuperChats. I prefer the SuperChats. That's more, it's easier, and they don't take 30% of it. But please, I'd love to get to 250 today.
You mean you prefer Streamlabs?
Yeah, Streamlabs.
You just said I prefer SuperChat. You do not prefer SuperChat.
Oh, I prefer Streamlabs over SuperChat. SuperChat takes 30% on YouTube, but Streamlabs is immediate. So we want to get to $250 by the end of the show today. And if we do, I'll tell you why. So please send that in. Let's get it to 250. How about this? One do 125, another person do 125. We're good to go. Then we're good to go. Everything else is gravy. But let's make it happen today.
Oh, shit. It's that simple. What y'all just do 125? I don't do it. Then we good. Shit, ain't nothing
That's right. I'll get you a tote bag. I'll get you a whole 9. Just send that thing in, and we'll get you a DVD, a CD, whatever you want of the Outlaw Nation or the Game Time. It's all yours. But yeah, today we've got at 2:00 right now. The game is just about to start here. The Washington football team taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We were all talking about some stuff off air. Winston, why don't we get into this? What you were talking about here? These Steelers and Ravens who are playing tomorrow, they're getting moved around all over the place with this COVID stuff. Now we've got the Panthers shutting down their facilities after 3 of their players tested positive. Are we stumbling again to the end of this season trying to make this all work? And would this, if the Steelers somehow manage to be undefeated at the end of the season, would this be the greatest undefeated season ever because of all the different hurdles and scheduling changes they've had to deal with?
Mm-hmm. I would give them a lot of credit if they pull it off. Like that's an undefeated season is always so fucking hard to do. But if you pulled this off when you were fucking up your rest, fucking up your game prep time left and right, and you didn't get a fucking bye week, you know how much praise you deserve for that. If anything, they need to turn around and just let Tomlin become owner of the fucking team at that point. Like if you pulled that off. But what I was suggesting happened because it is bullshit that I didn't realize that they still haven't had a bye week.
Yeah.
That they should essentially would they not then get one in week 17? Is that not how that would work?
Week. They'd probably play all 16 of their games and get the final week off, then go straight into the playoffs.
Because I was going to say what they should do, especially if they end, like, I mean, they were going to get one regardless, I think, because it sounds like they will probably lock up the number 1 seed. It's not set in stone yet.
They go undefeated, they lock it. Yeah, if they go undefeated.
If they go undefeated, no one has the opportunity to do that. So, yes, if they go undefeated, they get a bye week. But I was saying that even if they don't go undefeated, but they'll make the playoffs at this point, I'm pretty sure they're locked to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They should get an automatic bye week in the playoffs for that. There should be some sort of way to amend. Like, I know the rules say that it has to be the number 1 seed. They should do something to move some shit around. Because every other fucking team got a week to deal with injuries, to figure out rotations, to like just generally rest, and the Steelers have not. So even if they don't lock up the number 1 seed, they need to be given a bye week in the playoffs somehow.
They've earned it. I mean, again, the one thing though, you want to have a bye week. Yes, you want to be able to sit and rest some players, deal with some nagging injuries for 7 days or whatever the case may be. But the only positive I can really say is it's kept that momentum going. They've never had a chance to have that break in momentum because they're rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. And so it's just like, all right, we keep this going. But at the same time, it's when you finally have that break after this long, you might have real nagging injuries that show up because, again, adrenaline stops a lot. And if you're playing like this, the way they're practicing and playing, they get 1 or 2 days off during the week. We get that, but you forget that a lot of these players who have endorsements have to do, commercials or whatever the case may be. They have other things to do. They have families. So once you finally get a chance to rest, all of a sudden something peers its ugly head, and now you're like, where did my back injury come from? Where did this shoulder injury? Oh, somebody said the Steelers did have it. It was just super early. Well, shit. Okay.
Oh, was it?
True. I thought that was the whole point, is that they lost their bye because
I thought they lost their bye week. I think they lost their bye week because of the COVID with other teams.
Yeah,
they never had a chance.
The Buffalo Bills or the Titans. It was one of those. I think it was the Titans game.
It was the Titans. Matter of fact, it was the Titans because the Titans ended up catching COVID and having to have everything happen. Their switch around messed up the Steelers schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
So somebody said, I mean, you could call it a bye week, but I guess it's, it's like still you got to keep rolling. And then you're having your adjustments from playing Sunday to Monday afternoon when you're not even scheduled a Monday game, or going to Tuesdays and things like that. Now we've even had a Wednesday game this season. So it's like everything's been flip-flopped around.
Yep, exactly.
Hold on, I'm counting. They did sort of get one.
Okay.
So they played the Texans on the 27th. They didn't then play the Eagles until the 11th. They did get a bye week. It was week 4.
Okay.
It's just that the rest of their shit got jumbled around a little bit. But yes, they did get a bye week.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. So they did have something going on for them. So we'll see. But still, it was a lot to jump around, a lot to navigate. They have to play teams that have COVID.
They had a sort of bye week. They had a bye week, but it wasn't their bye week.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
It was pushed up. They were supposed to have a later bye week. They got forced to have it early because of the shit going on with the
it's not their actual bye week. They were ready to make this run, break for a second, come back. So it's confusing in a sense.
I remember the conversation because I remember when it happened, it was the complaint of like, well, they have to take it now. Because that was the thing. If I go back to the schedule, they were supposed to play the Titans week 4. They ended up playing the Titans. What is that? Week 6.
Okay.
And then that was a short week too, because then they played the Titans on the 25th,
right?
And then had to turn around and play. I guess it was a week later. I was going to say on the 1st against the Ravens,
right?
But it was. They did not want to have. They were fortunate to not have their bye week so early in the schedule, and it got fucked up. So. Yeah. Never mind. They had the rest. It just nobody wants week 4 buys. Week 4 buys suck.
I know they do.
Week 4 bye. That's not a bye week. That's just like your bye week start like week 7, 6, 7, or like that, something like that.
It's like having sex and then you got to stop 5 minutes in. No, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. Like, it don't make sense.
Oh no,
you're not really saving your endurance for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
okay.
You want to take that break later on in the session. You don't want to take that break early on in the session. I'm just saying.
I agree with you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't hydrate after foreplay. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying? Like, you keep going.
Ain't no dude. Look, this ain't Blurs After Dark, sir.
Oh, I apologize.
You know what I'm saying?
I got to get on that show somehow, some way. Anyway,
bedtime.
Yo, the fact that Aisha, you said that Aisha just said the hit here with these eyes, the what the fuck?
Anyway, we'll see what happens. And I still can't see it. I still can't see it. So who knows where it is on here in San Diego? I just can't get access to the game for whatever reason.
You get the Chargers, bruh. That's what you get down there.
I tried to go on the Fox Sports app. It's not even on the Fox Sports app.
Chat real quick.
It's crazy. Anyway, all right, let's get into this thing. We got the first big story of the week 13 in the NFL over this weekend was the Cleveland Browns. Hey, like we've said multiple times, we consider them dead in the water after the first week, but they have proven us wrong, and they finally got themselves a signature victory here in this tough, surprisingly tough near the end here, hard-fought victory over the Titans. They needed every single point that they got against the Titans to beat them here. Mayfield, Baker threw for 334 yards, 4 touchdown passes. Incredible things to do there. He scored the first 7. The Browns scored the first 17 points before holding on to win 41-35. The Titans had come in leading the AFC South, and they left tied because the Colts beat Houston. And then the thing is, the Browns put a defensive plan in place that limited Derrick Henry. And to be honest with you, Derrick Henry looked like he didn't even want to be there. The way he was running, he wasn't beasting. He wasn't pushing through people. He was just getting his yards and falling down. And I wonder if maybe there was an injury he was nursing or if there was just some stuff going on. It just didn't seem like the same Derrick Henry. But in the second half, after the Browns had gone up, I think it was like 31-7 or something like that, the Titans woke up and made it close late. And if they hadn't had a couple of bad plays, like an interception as they were driving and then a fumble or a fourth down that didn't convert, I think they might have maybe pulled this out at the end. But what do you take away from this, gentlemen? Do you think the Browns are for real? Jay, I'll go to you first. Do you think they're for real, having gotten a good victory against a team on the road in Tennessee?
Yeah. I do think now we can literally say they're for real. However, you got to look at this makes you look at the Titans even more because you have a substantial ass lead over Tennessee. Yeah. You are dog walking the Tennessee Titans, who have been a power team pretty much. You're dog walking them. Then all of a sudden they come back in dramatic fashion to almost win this game. It means if you're the Browns, you got by the skin of your teeth in this game. Right. But if you're the Titans, it's never count them out. Even though it looks like they're done, they can mount a comeback. It may not end, granted, if I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm looking at it, we lost, but we proved if we're behind the 8 ball, we can come back to almost win this game. You have some unlucky plays. You have some unlucky plays, but it's worth it. Again, Cleveland is showing that they can do something. This is good. Again, seasonal play, playoff play, two different things. We're going to have to see what happens come the playoffs. But man, that should literally scare you about the Titans, because again, it's you can't count them out. Right. You're down like that, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, you know what? They pulled, for lack of better words, they pulled a Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yeah, they almost pulled it off. Yeah, Winston, what do you think about this? Now, do we have to reevaluate Baker Mayfield off of what he's doing this season? Finally, he's stayed healthy. Finally, he's got the right weapons. Finally, he seems to have a coach worth a damn, and the Browns are looking good. Yeah, they've gotten beaten by the Steelers and the Ravens pretty badly, but they've beaten most of these other teams, and they got this victory on the road against Tennessee. Is this the victory you needed to see, or do you need to see them beat the Steelers or the Ravens before the end of the season, and they have both of them on the schedule, before you take them as a real threat in the playoffs?
No, I'll give them the respect. I give them a threat as a team. I don't give them a threat in the playoffs until I see them in the playoffs. The Browns have been in the playoffs in how long?
Yeah.
So the question, I think it's been almost 18 years.
Yeah.
So then the question becomes, great, amazing, good for you. Y'all are a good fucking team. Let's see what you do now with that playoff experience, because look at how stacked. Let me pull up the standings real quick of what the playoffs look like.
Right now.
Picture. Let's see the 2020 playoff picture. So currently, load. All right, what locked playoff spot? The only one right now is the Chiefs.
Yep, they clinched
on that side because they clinched the AFC West.
Yep.
On the NFC, the only team locked is the Saints because they've clinched the NFC South.
Right.
And the Saints have the number 1 seed right now in the NFC at 10-2, though the Packers are right behind at 9-3. The Chiefs have the number 2 seed technically because they have that 1 L on them.
Yep.
But obviously they clinched that playoff berth. So here's the thing. Here are the teams that are currently in the hunt. And I'm not even going to include the bubble people yet. So for the AFC, for the Browns, the Steelers, the Bills, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Colts. And then if you look at the bubble, you still have people that are in the mix in the Raiders, the Ravens, the Patriots, they're always like really hit or miss. But
it felt like the Patriots are old yesterday.
I know they did. And then you don't look at any of the rest of the teams there.
Yeah.
So here's the big thing. I think on any given Sunday has proven the Browns are a good team and that they could take any of these teams down. I mean, they just beat the team that's ahead of them. They technically have a better record than the Titans, but the Titans have the 4 seed because they're on the outside of their division looking in. Yeah. So they'd be the top wild card. But any of those teams could mollywop the Browns. Yeah. I would make the argument that the Browns couldn't necessarily mollywop anybody, but they could win. I give them credit that they could beat any of these teams. They can beat any of them. But I can see the Chiefs annihilating the Browns. I could see the Titans being pissed off in the playoffs and getting the Browns again because they did charge back at the end of that game and make something happen. If I had a record of Baker Mayfield playing like this, not just a game, but like a record of him being this guy, I would just automatically be like, yo, Browns probably got this whole division. They got the whole conference locked. But I haven't seen that kind of consistency. I've seen them win games, but it's been close. I've seen them like show flashes of greatness, not strings of greatness. So that would be the only thing I would say. So the Browns have my respect. They're a good fucking team. Right. But whether or not they're a team that gets the job done when it's time, when it's like not we're racking up wins to get to the playoffs, when it's time to be in the playoffs, because playoff games are so different.
That also is one and done. It's
right, and it's one and done. That pressure hits you differently. We don't know if Jarvis can handle this. We don't know if Baker can handle this. We don't know if Miles is going to be running in people nearly as hard, or if something happens on these O-lines where they're a little more motivated because they've been there before, or they pace themselves. There's just a lot of unanswered stuff because they haven't been in the playoffs yet. So I respect them. I think that they will at least get through the first round so far. But unless I see them kind of run the table, I'm not going to give them like they're my favorite to come out of the AFC. Yeah. I think they'll make some noise, but unless they run the table the rest of the season, they're just a playoff team.
Also, you got to see them finish a game themselves. Going back to this game with the Titans, this game they didn't win. The Titans lost. You get what I'm saying? There's a big difference in the two of those.
Okay.
You have the interception, you have the bad plays, the non-conversion, and so then you end up losing because, again, if you convert or you don't throw this interception, you're the Titans, you may end up winning this.
Well, the fact that A.J. Brown had 2 fumbles, one of them happened to be recovered and still score a touchdown, you know what I'm saying? What if A.J. Brown doesn't fumble that other ball? Like this game changes a little bit then. Like, I mean, I look at the fact that like Baker went off in the first 2 quarters and then was virtually silent the rest of the game.
Absolutely silent the rest of the game.
That says something. I'm not saying that he needs to keep throwing up on people, but like they only had 118 yards rushing this game, which cool. You broke 100 yards collectively, but like there is also something to be said. If you have that kind of lead, the rest of your game plan is run the clock down. And by run the clock down, I mean literally run the ball so you run the clock down. Yep. But you didn't get the Blackhawk, goddamn well ain't nobody hating. If you want to win the Super Bowl, you got to bring more than this. Yeah. That is what I'm saying. You are better than every one of our 3 teams put together. You could take all the best players on all three of our teams, and the Browns would still be better than them. So nobody's hating in that regard. I'm trying to tell you, if you want to win it all, you're going to need a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right.
Browns took their foot off the gas. Never take your foot off the gas.
Never
take your foot off the gas when there's 2 minutes left and you're up by 4 scores. So then it doesn't fucking matter.
I also think you don't take your foot off the gas. You can't use that excuse because you go into the second half, you know the good teams are going to make adjustments. The Titans made adjustments and they were able to shut them down defensively. And the Browns are no kind of fucking team to be taking their foot off the gas, for God's sakes. They didn't take their foot off the gas. They were trying to get some more scores. They were throwing. It'd be different if Baker was just handing off the ball. He wasn't. He was throwing. He was trying to convert those tough third downs. They were trying to run out the game and get themselves some points and keep that lead because you want to destroy a team like the Titans to show people we're for real. You don't want to let the Titans back into the game. I think the great coaches over there in Tennessee made adjustments and the Browns couldn't adjust back. They did just enough to win that thing. And I think it's a fair point. You have to look at that first half as like incredible dominance. Then that second half should scare you with how they're of the ability to give up that many points. You
put up 38 in the first half and you get 3 in the last.
Yeah,
that's just kind of wild. At the very least, if the idea is you took your foot off the gas, motherfucker, you should have like a solid 4 field goals in the next 2 quarters. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to continue to march down the field and put up some points. Yep. That is the thing that is a scary mentality that breeds failure. Yep. The idea of we already got this in the bag and a half. We good. Take your foot off the gas. Fuck that. Yeah, how many times have you heard about the story of the tortoise and the hare? If your ass decided you already about to cross the finish line, so I'm going to take a nap, I'm going to eat a burger, I'm going to fucking sign some autographs for fans, you're going to get embarrassed when the tortoise comes out of nowhere and embarrasses you. Like the Titans almost came back on this game. That should have never happened. And so, again, they are a good team. I give them credit. You beat a team that is one of the favorites to win the AFC. You get credit for that. I give the fact that you're dangerous. But now it's not a matter of skill. Now it's a mentality. Yeah. Are you able to finish the job? That is my question. You finished it in this game, but barely. Can you finish it all the way to the Super Bowl? That's my question. Yeah. I don't know the answer to that right now.
But then we can't even, again, we're like you just said, we got to keep saying this main important thing when it comes to the Browns. And again, this is not being disrespectful. This is not giving them credit.
Right.
It's what they do first round of the playoffs, because again, they haven't been. That lack of experience has shown in numerous teams that have not gone.
Right.
Yo, I give you credit, but let me trash talk you the whole segment. I mean, believe what you want to believe. I'm being real with you. Yeah. How many times have y'all seen Cowboys teams? The Romo, they called the new trio and the new triplets in Romo, Murray, and Bryant. And then we won one game and then got embarrassed in the next. And then you had a situation where you had Dak Prescott get to the playoffs. We win one game and then got embarrassed by the Packers. I'm trying to tell you from someone that's been there, don't rest your laurels on. You see the way we kicked that team's ass? Oh, yeah, baby. What did it mean? It was one more notch on your belt during the regular season. Yeah. What are you going to do in the playoffs?
The Bears had a 10-point lead going into halftime against the Lions. We're winning.
Yeah.
And then the Lions, who, because they fired the coach and GM, was like, we can do it, and did it. And we were like, no. Like, no. Everybody was sitting there watching this game like, this ain't finna. Oh, fuck, it did. Like, because you couldn't believe it. But again, that's the same thing. Like, you got to keep. I don't want to talk about it.
There it is.
It's all good. I just want to make it very clear because Philosopher King still thinks that I'm out here trash talking. I'm just be very with you. I'm gonna look right into the camera. Ain't nobody trash talking. You have my respect now.
Yeah.
The Browns have had it for a while, but like this is a different level. Before it was like, oh, the Browns can do something. Now they have my respect that they're dangerous. But just because, like, do you understand? Let me take it to comic books for you for a minute. Do you understand how much OP Thanos is over the fucking Avengers? And guess who won in the end? You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that hurt too.
But that's my point. Even if the Browns have lined themselves up, they got all the Infinity Gems, and they're like, I got this, motherfucker. You can still fucking lose if you are not vigilant and aware of what's going on. This is not trash talk. This is just a warning. This is purely a warning from a fan of a team that loves to show flashes of greatness and drop the ball. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I took Thanos. Yeah, I know. I took Thanos in the points. So yeah,
Thanos went up. Thanos had a 28-3 lead at the end of the first at the half. And then the Avengers with Tom Brady on their ass and fucking sent Thanos, the Atlanta Thanos Falcons packing and shit by the end of the Super Bowl. The Falcons were the most dangerous team that season, and they look to embarrass the fucking paint. Take that as your warning. Forget what I'm saying. Look at what the Falcons fucking did all season, and they dropped that shit. And now the Falcons are scrambling for victories years later. As a warning.
I did not see that Nebula interception coming. I did not see that coming. That surprised me. I just was like, I thought for sure.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny because Philosopher King's like, they're not a Super Bowl threat. So then that already, so you don't have faith in your team. Because I know that when we're rolling, I'm like, baby, we gonna take it all. There's some realism that comes in. Hey, these are the things we have to get through. But if you don't have the mentality that you are trying to win it all, then what are you even doing here? Yeah. So like even the Giants after that win over Seattle, which I think that's what we're talking about next, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna get to the Giants in just a second. Yeah,
they're technically playoff contenders because our division is trash. How many times have the Giants been barely 9-7 and then made a playoff run to win the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? The Browns could do this. I would love to actually see them do this. I love seeing people that haven't had a chance to taste that glory. I saw how Cleveland was lit when LeBron brought y'all a fucking chip. So I would love for y'all to get that chip, bro.
Gallon jug, though, for real. Like, I gotta appreciate my field play fans for a minute. Like, this is a gallon jug of water, and I'm just palming this bitch like a.
Give it. Let's throw this in real quick just to give them some respect so Philosopher King doesn't lose his mind. Mayfield became the first Browns quarterback to throw 4 touchdowns in the first half since Hall of Famer Otto Graham in 1951, son.
Jesus.
That's the last time. I mean, I remember I was at that game. It's pretty incredible to see Baker throw 4 touchdowns in one half, but it's no other quarterback in the NFL this season, and that includes Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, has thrown 4 TDs and a half this season. Mayfield
and a half. I was like,
half. Right.
TDs, but in a half is one.
Yeah. 290 yards by halftime, and he had 297. That was his previous high before in all the previous games. Like I said, they stopped Henry. The Titans came in with a league low 5 turnovers, but they turned the ball over 3 separate times. And Nick Chubb and the Browns outran the Titans 118-62. And remember, it was Derrick Henry who beat out Nick Chubb in the 17th week of the season last year for the rushing title. So Chubb wanted some revenge on that guy. Here's what I'll tell you overall, and shout out to Corey Davis, who had 11 catches for 180 yards and a touchdown for the Titans. Here's the thing. I think you have 2 uneven teams. I think the Titans have shown us that they can be got. We've seen this a number of times through the season. The Browns got him yesterday. The Colts got him before. They can be got, these Titans. They're not as strong as we think. And Tannehill looks fantastic as the quarterback of that team, but sometimes they take a little bit of time to figure out where they are in the game, and it costs them with some of these losses. The Browns are the same way. You don't know what Browns team is going to show up when you play them. Yes, they're 9-3 now, and it's a great victory here, and they looked great in that first half. Got to figure out how to play with a lead now, because if that happens in the playoffs, you're going to get beat, because the pressure of the playoffs will work on you mentally, and you won't be able to hold off this team that's coming back on you. But shout out to them for getting the victory. Now let's see what you do in the next few weeks. If you end up 9-7, that's not going to look good. So you got to keep building upon this victory if you want to be taken seriously. All right, let's move on. Actually, we're going to skip the Ravens and the Cardinals and the Goff thing. We'll get into the Seattle Seahawks. We'll circle back to the Rams in just a second. But yeah, this is the other shocker of the weekend here. Somehow, some way, the 4-7 Giants, who were the NFC East leaders going into the game, beat the Seattle Seahawks in an ugly 17-12 game in Seattle. The Giants, their defense absolutely
wait. It was Colt McCoy. I didn't watch this game.
Yes.
Colt McCoy did this?
Colt McCoy. Yeah. I was just going to say, the Giants did this without Daniel Jones and without, of course, Saquon Barkley got hurt earlier this season, Colt McCoy ran in there. And guess who? Alfred Morris, who's on a quest to play for every NFC East team. He got himself 2 touchdowns in this game to help the Giants beat these Seahawks. Russell and the Seahawks looked like they didn't give a shit about this game the entire game. Or
the game was 5-0 at one point.
Yeah, it was 5-0. Yeah, at the half. It was at the half 5-0.
At the half, right. At the half, it was 5-0.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to look at the situation. You got to ask yourself. Now, the Seahawks, everyone, look, that MVP conversation for Russell Wilson, that is dead now. That is never going to come back up by the end of the season, that's for sure. So you got to ask yourself, now, what do we do with this Seahawks team? And this is crazy, and I'm going to say this, but this Giants team, if you take a look at their schedule and their games, they haven't been blown out in any of these games. They've lost some close ones. So they're a few points away from being 9-7 instead of 4-7 by the end of the season. So who knows if they could go on a run here because they're on the 4-game winning streak. Winston, you're an NFC East guy. Thoughts? Do you believe in this Giants team?
It's a little I mean, one of us had to step up, and do something. I just
5-7.
It's embarrassing. I hate that it's the Giants. I honestly don't know which of the other NFC East teams I hate the most. It's really hard to say. I love trolling Giants fans. It's probably one of my favorites. I don't really get that much satisfaction anymore out of trolling Washington fans because y'all just been pathetic for a while, bro.
Yeah,
so
we
it
have.
is what it is.
Yeah, we have.
And then the Eagles, it's fun when they're really bad because they wanted to put all that money on Carson Wentz and that didn't work out. And, they won a Super Bowl and burned their city down, but now they can't figure their shit out. So I guess if it had to be any of the teams, I guess the Giants is the one that I'm the most okay with.
Yeah.
Especially because you're not doing it with your starters. Like if Barkley was like balling out this season while Ezekiel Elliott was trash, my heart would be broken. Right. But like a game where Gallman goes for 135 and Morris gets 2 touchdowns, and just a smattering of yards, I think, what is that, 45 overall. For that's fine. I think that this is less about the Giants. I think this is more about the Seahawks. And this is something that we said. The Seahawks look a lot like the version of Dallas that we've watched the last few years. Your quarterback is bomb.
Yeah.
But if he's slipping, you're kind of fucked. I think the only difference here is Carson is probably a little lesser version of Ezekiel Elliott when he's balling out.
Okay.
So you've been having running back problems all season. You've been kind of going up and down. You have one of the most electric receiving cores in the game. But what that defense do, bro? That defense gave up 17 points in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Against one of the worst teams in the league. That's not good. And if Russell can't, and that's the thing, if Russell can't put up what he was doing earlier in the season, if he can't put up like some sort of 4-touchdown game, they can't win.
Yeah.
And that means that the Seahawks are in a lot of fucking trouble, fam.
It also, like you said, that MVP discussion is gone.
It's gone. It's completely gone.
Absolutely.
I might mention next week.
First half of the season, we started out like, he's got to go in this discussion. That was the first half of the season. This other half, you're like, well, I'm sorry that I said that.
The Seahawks and Russell Wilson right now. Russell Wilson looks like Bobby Gooch, and the Seahawks look like the FinStock Exchange. Y'all gonna come in and talk about, look at us, we got belts, bitch. And then now, you got a match in the spectacular, but
are you listening to him? Are you listening to this motherfucker?
Look, truth is truth, baby. Truth is truth.
You got a shot at 2 belts. You better come up with something.
Bitch.
Or else we can talk about you in the same way.
Bitch. Come on.
He got there, but then he
did he? Who's talking about choking, motherfucker? All I know is I'm still chewing my food, and you done choked out a while ago. Ain't nobody gave y'all the Heimlich maneuver.
Who's ever seen Harlem Nights? Anyway.
They so aggressive to one another on this show.
They shot Della Reese in the toe. You don't shoot Della Reese in the toe. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think this says more about the Seahawks. It does about the Giants. But that being said, Winston, you and I know, and Jay, chime in on this as well. We've seen a 9-7 Giants team shock the fucking world and win the Super Bowl. So if this team goes on a run, because like people are saying in the chat, their defense is legit. Absolutely right. Their defense looks good. They look strong. They shut down that Seattle team for the most part. So if they roll into these playoffs on a winning streak, having won the division, they could cause some serious damage. Look, the Washington football team has a strong defense as well, but are they going to get the victories to vie for this title? Either way, I think people are sleeping on the Giants and the Washington football team a little bit because those defenses are strong. So if they get in there, depending on the matchup, they could pull an upset or two in those playoffs, especially in a 2020 crazy COVID year like the NFL has been this year.
Again, you could have a team who is strong go into the playoffs and then all of a sudden have a COVID outbreak and lose stars. And then it's just like, what happens next?
Right.
And so it really is, it's really interesting to see. But also when we bring up the Giants' old Super Bowl winning record, I don't think we should start putting that as the comparison now.
Of course.
Not even close.
Because some people will go like, there are some who are like Giants fans, like, yo, remember we went 9-7, won a Super Bowl. It's like, this is a different type of year.
For two reasons.
And this isn't Eli either.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers. You have so many Hall of Famers on that defense. The main one that sticks out is the host extraordinary Michael Strahan, right?
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the defense is solid, but you had someone that was unstoppable in Strahan, and he led that defense to go fuck people up. But more importantly, you had Eli Manning, who tapped into another gear. You're going to tell me that Colt McCoy, after all these years of being a journeyman, is all of a sudden going to be like, I'm going to win a Super Bowl, and then he's going to fucking pull a super Eli like they used to nickname him? I don't think so. Your best bet would maybe be Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones doesn't show me those flashes of greatness. Daniel Jones trips on his own feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think that they're going to run through no shit, but I do think that at this rate, they will win the NFC East. They will be the team to get out of this division.
They seem like they are. What do you think, Jay?
I mean, they seem like they are. I mean, it's so crazy because what the measuring stick is, again, you to use that term, for the NFC East. Mm-hmm. Because, we were like, yo, it could be a low team. And now 5 wins, you're like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird when you look at these things like that. Again, we don't know if maybe it won't happen. Philly turns it around. Or for some reason, Washington turns it around. All of a sudden, Alex Smith leads this team back. Let's be honest. They've been close in some games. And games they've won, they've been kind of impressive. So
I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Cowboys beat the Ravens tomorrow, bitch, I would be talking about we made the Super Bowl. This our year, fool. This our year, fool. Like I fucking promise.
I mean, and that's the way the NFC East has been all year. Like it's been so heartbreaking against the Bears fan. I can tell you we've only scored 7 points in the third quarter the entire season. Do you understand how bad it is? They had to make a stat for that, and a graphic. But again, you're looking at the NFC East, and we talked about it last week. Some teams that even though they may make the playoffs or get the wild card spot, and know they may not go further, they still they play off of we'll be a spoiler team now. Yeah, they know we ain't going nowhere. All right, now we're gonna become a spoiler team.
That's my favorite thing to do. If you ain't got no fucking shot, like my one free-for-all appearance for Schmodown, it was Devon Stewart, and there was this whole thing of be like, hey, man, don't do this black-on-black crime right now. Just pretend like you don't know the answer. Fuck that, I know the answer. Martin Lawrence, nigga. Everybody go. Let's go. You coming with me, fool. Like it's nothing more fun than like if I go down, I'm taking you with me. You know what I'm saying?
That is what's called being petty, ladies and gentlemen.
It's petty as shit, bro. It's so much fun to do.
Petty is as petty does, goddamn. I'm taking all you bitches with me. Like, no, I ain't never doing this.
Craziness, man. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this NFC East shakes out. It's suddenly becoming a slightly. Well, I mean, the Eagles lost yesterday, so maybe they're up. But if the Washington football team pulls off a miracle tonight, right now against these Steelers, then they've got their signature win as well, just as much as the Giants have over the Seahawks. So it could be a battle between both of these teams all the way down to the end. And 8-8 or 9-7 could be the record that they end up getting, which isn't a disrespectful record to have to go into the playoffs. Yeah.
But can you imagine if Washington pulls off the upset against Pittsburgh? Can you imagine everybody just sitting in the locker room afterwards, just like, the fuck happened? Because that's the only thing you can say. Again, yes, Washington has been playing. They've been balling. They've been trying to show we're not as terrible as everybody wants to make us out to be. Yeah. But if, again, Pittsburgh is like, we've been beating all these teams. Yeah, some of them have been by the skin of our teeth. Yeah. But, we just, we lost.
But I can't, but that's the thing. I can't say that I wouldn't expect it coming. One, how hard is it to get an undefeated season? You get the pressure building up. But two, Pittsburgh has all year played down to their competition. So they've also played up. So the issue can become, you saw how close it was from the Cowboys beating them. Yeah. The Cowboys are really not much better than Washington. If anything, Washington beat us once or both times. You beat us both times?
The Cowboys, yes. We swept you guys. Yes.
So you know what I'm saying? If Washington can beat us, and we almost beat the Steelers by transitive property, then Washington could beat the Steelers because the Steelers do not play like that. That was my warning to the Browns, not to bring it back to that. If you don't play lights out every fucking time, you're going to eventually drop that ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's very easy that the Steelers could lose this game today. They need to. This is a trap. It's what they call a trap game. Yep. A team that you don't think is a threat, you don't give it your all, and then you get fucked up.
Yep. Absolutely. Certainly possible.
Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson got knocked out because the nigga thought it was this some goofy ass white boy on the internet. And the next thing you know, he's kissing canvas. So
I have a question. We're not even question response. He is some little goofy ass white boy on the internet.
But he's a threat apparently. He literally he knocked out a professional athlete. I understand not a professional fighter, but he knocked out somebody that's supposedly that tough. You know what I'm saying? How do you have your entire career erased from existence by losing a boxing match to a YouTuber? Like, let's just be fucking like, no one is talking about, no one will ever go, Nate Robinson, that was the dude that won multiple dunk contests and a chip with the Celtics. What they're going to say from now on is Nate Robinson, that's that random nigga that have played a little bit of basketball but got knocked out by a YouTuber. That is his legacy from now on, and it's very sad.
They'll be like, he got knocked the fuck out.
Unless he becomes like a prize fighter, that's it for Nate Robinson's legacy, bro.
Nate Robinson probably in the gym right now. Ain't nobody knocking me out. You know how you get knocked out one time by the bully, and you like, ain't nobody knocking me out no more? Like how Vince McMahon got knocked out by Bret Hart, and after Bret Hart knocked him out, Vince McMahon became super jacked and was like, nobody's ever knocking him out again.
Right. That's a good point.
Is that why he got that jack? That was so weird.
Yeah. After Bret Hart in the office, he was like, never again. I'm not gonna let one of my talent punk me out. When your promoter is bigger than some of the people on the roster, that shit is terrifying.
It's true. It's very, very true. All right, we got over 150 y'all watching us live. Please remember to hit that like button, that thumbs up button. We appreciate it very much. And you guys, you're a little light on the donations today. I don't know what's happening, but this is ridiculous. We've only got $6. $6. It's been 45 minutes.
Hold on. Allow me to do this. Allow me to say this.
Please.
Today is the 7th.
Yes.
People have paid rent.
Yeah.
So most people probably don't have it because we said that we was like last week. We was like, yo, people do. People pay rent. So I get it. Also, if I'm jittery right now, my pre-workout I took 3 hours ago still kicking in on me. And it's got me scratching and shit like a crack fiend. Right. And I was like, this ain't right. I feel like That's why I keep moving around.
So if you want to pay for Jay Washington going to urgent care for his scratching, please send in the money now to help us do that. He'll give you excuses. I won't. I don't care. Send it in. StreamLabs. Super Chats and StreamLabs. Send them in for God's sake.
They got to buy toys for the babies. They got to buy toys for the babies. We broke Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Kenneth Daisy, and if you can afford an extra E in your last name, then you can afford some money up in this shit. So
I didn't know he paid for that, Rocha. Jesus.
There's no E in Daisy. All right.
If you can afford an extra E, Lord have mercy.
I'm just saying.
The coldest to ever do a Crawford.
Jesus.
All right, Jared Goff and the Rams. Hey guys, we got to start talking about other teams that somehow have turned the corner or may have made us look at them again. And look, the Browns did
looking at the fucking.
I'm just saying, I'll put this out there. The Browns did it, the Giants did it. Now we got to look at the situation with the Rams. Look, the Cardinals were coming in needing a victory, and the Rams were bouncing back from a 23-20 loss last week against the 49ers at home. Their first loss in that new SoFi Stadium. They went on the road and they beat these Cardinals pretty soundly, 38-28. Jared Goff had 37 of 40. He went 37 of 47 for 351 yards and a touchdown. They've won 3 of 4 of their last 4, and they're tied for the division lead with guess who? The Seahawks. Remember when we thought the Seahawks were going to run away with this thing? Now the Rams have a real chance to win this division and have a home playoff game in their new stadium. The Cardinals did the best they could here, but they've lost 3 straight now and 4 of their last 5. So we got to start looking at Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray here and wondering if maybe, they're doing a little bit better this year than last year, but is this the right combo? Because they just didn't show up for this game in that last quarter. They were there close, but in that last quarter, they couldn't get anything done, and the Rams ran away with it. Jay, so you're saying we shouldn't take anything from this victory?
I mean, yeah, you beat the Cardinals, but again, we have those flash in the pan moments, if I can use that phrase, to describe Kyler Murray. It's not every single week we sit there going, Kyler Murray is amazing. Kyler Murray is amazing. We don't take away completely from what he does, but it's not every single week we're putting him on this high-level pedestal like we do a Patrick Mahomes or if as many people do a Roethlisberger, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I don't need you to play. Damn ESPN, stop playing the videos. I'm just checking box scores and stats. But we don't do so. I don't take that. Again, who's trusting Jared Goff really? Are we still – because again, yes, you have a game. We got to do – again, you can have a game where you win and then you win decisively and you're like, okay, cool. This is what you did. But now can you continue this? Remember, we said that about Baker Mayfield, and he has shown he can do that. Our next thing is, can he do it in the playoffs? We've seen Jared Goff go to the Super Bowl and was not supposed to be there, clearly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's different things that you got to look at.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. What do you think, Winston?
I mean, I think the question is, what do we do with Jared Goff? So, I'm just going to run through his stats real quick. 275 and an interception.
I'm out. Would you read what he wrote? I am
paying
out.
An extra E to buy the vowel. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's fucking funny. My homie on the Wheel of Fortune talk about it. Yeah, I'd like to buy an E from the name. But okay, 275, no touchdowns and interception against Dallas. 267, 3 touchdowns against Philly. 321, 2 touchdowns and interception against Buffalo. 200 and a touchdown, no interceptions against New York. 309, 2 touchdowns and interception against the Giants.
Okay.
309, 2 touchdowns and an interception against Washington. 198, 2 touchdowns and 1. So he hasn't broken 400 this year.
Yeah.
He's averaging. I can average this out divided by. Hold on. I don't know why that. I don't know why they don't have that.
All the teams in the NFC East when they were terrible, when we always screaming how terrible they were. You see what I'm saying? These weren't against those things. I think it was only one team outside of that.
He's averaging 280. He's averaging 281. Wow. You know what I'm saying? He's not even averaging 300 yards. Wow. He's not even averaging 300 yards. So that is something to be said. Okay. His completion percentage is 68%. So I will say this: game manager Jared Goff is going to get you there if your defense can carry you the whole way. If this ends up being the Peyton Manning Broncos that he won that last title with before he rode out, it's possible. But it is very frightening to know that Goff is out here in these streets still having a number of 2 interception games. Right. You know what I'm saying? That ain't going to cut it when now you have to deal with the Chiefs that are rolling or the Browns that are rolling or you know what I'm saying? Fuck it. You got to get outside the NFC. What you going to deal with? They figured it out with Taysom Hill some fucking how. You telling me you're going to take the Saints out? You going to roll through the Saints, my guy? You know what I'm saying? So Yeah.
Taysom throwing touchdowns now. So
let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy here. Taysom's doing something, but yeah.
Look, they wasn't letting him throw. He was running touchdowns in. It was passing touchdowns. They might be 15 to 17 yards because they aren't deep at all. However, he's doing that. But I digress.
I would just say someone just said, well, the Browns are a run first team. Stop trying to make them a pass first team. Okay, cool. But your run game was better than the Titans. It didn't do nothing to put no fear or respect on your name. You've done it other games. I'll give that 1,000%. But I also, let's be honest real quick. Even if you're a run first team, when is the last time that a run first team won the Super Bowl without competent quarterback play? Yeah. Name me one. Because the only even when you say, well, what about when the Seahawks won against the Broncos? One, that was a defense first team. The Legion of Boom annihilated the Broncos.
True.
And Russell Wilson balled out. Marshawn went off, but Russell was balling. So if Baker plays like, I don't want to go back to the Browns, but y'all said the comment, if Baker plays like this for the rest of the season, Browns have a very good inside track to genuinely win it all, but he has to consistently do that. And then Chubb and Hunt have to be those guys that they've been all season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not even talking about that. We talk about the Rams right now.
True. We're talking about the Rams.
Rams suspect in a motherfucker. Like, good on them on this win. This is a good win. But like, bruh.
I still can't talk shit about any quarterback because we have two who are ass.
Oh, true.
Open ass in front of a box fan.
Thanks.
Open ass in front of a box fan in the summer. Open ass in front of a box fan in the summer when it's 94 degrees out.
Someone said, Jacob Hunt said the Broncos was the last run first team. I digress. I say that was an elite defense led by Von Miller and an okay offense. It was an okay offense.
Right, fair point.
I know that was Nershawn Moreno was still there, I believe, because that was the whole tier thing where the national anthem was playing and he had the tears streaming and shit. They were good.
Yeah.
But like that offense was kind of scraping to get by, bro. Like most of those touchdowns, I'll go and pull that score up. That defense was disgusting. They embarrassed Cam Newton's ass.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. That was nasty. All right, let's get into some StreamLabs Super Chats. We'll see what happens with the Rams. I like that they got this victory. You know, the Cardinals have everything. I like that Goff responded to his coach criticizing him last week. By the way, that's the first time McVay has criticized him ever. And so I like that he responded and he played well and he was confident about it. And he took the whooping. Look, taking the verbal whooping is very important in the NFL. Can you take that whooping and respond? And then consistently respond and remember that verbal whooping. That matters. So it's a lot of players, a lot of quarterbacks especially, just lose it mentally once their coaches turn on them or question them. They don't have the confidence anymore. Goff stepped up here, and we'll see if he can maintain it throughout the rest of the season. We shall see.
This is my point. You want to know how many yards overall the Broncos had in the fucking Super Bowl? They won 24-10, and it was C.J. Anderson at that point.
Oh, C.J.?
They had 194 yards on offense.
Oof. Okay.
Jesus.
compared to the Panthers, who had Cam threw for 265, their rushing game 118. You know what I'm saying? You literally just had, and Peyton Manning had 2 fumbles, one that he lost. TJ Ward fumble. They barely recovered that shit. You just have this defensive game that's of legend. 7 fucking sacks. Yeah. TJ Ward's crazy ass interception. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Crazy long kick returns. That was a defense first team. That was not a run first team at all, son.
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right, let's see here. We got some StreamLabs Super Chats that have come in. Xavier, I'm going to go with Xavier Black Wiley's first. You know why? Because he dropped 40, son. And he said the Browns, #1 in the AFC North. Carson Wentz got benched, and the Giants are 5-7 in the NFC East. What's the weekend's takeaway? I wouldn't say the Carson Wentz thing because I think that was coming. I wouldn't say the Browns thing yet because they haven't done it. But the Giants thing, I would say that's my choice. What about you guys at this stage?
Oh God! I mean. I want to say the Giants. Yeah, no, I want to say the Giants because what the takeaway is which of these teams in the NFC East is going to step up.
Yeah,
and that was such a big win to have by the Giants. I feel like I got to give it to the Giants, but it's a very close second that the Browns are not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
The Browns are a good team.
Okay.
The Browns aren't number one in the AFC North.
No, they're not at all.
They're not because they're tied with because Steelers.
Fuck that because the Steelers are.
The Steelers are 11-0.
Yeah, I don't know, Brian. I don't know what you're doing. Xavier, I don't know what you did to me.
I didn't look. I was like, am I high reading this or something?
I'm trying to find this game. I can't find this game. My brain's like half distracted. God damn it!
I was like, what? Wait,
hey, somebody DM me their NFL direct ticket password. I need to watch this game. All right, it's not here.
To watch the game on.
I can't get that on the TV.
Oh yeah, you can't do that.
Yes, I can't do that. I can't be.
I think the thing is the Giants though. Again, solely because of Colt McCoy. It's a journeyman quarterback who's been all through the NFC East. I bit on the inside of my goddamn jaw.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, let me read the next thing. This one is from Buckeye Jet. He said, "Hey John, as a Jets fan, oh my God, that was the best win in years. Here's to 0-16 and Trevor Lawrence. Why would you want to wish Trevor Lawrence on your team? As one who doesn't like the Giants, or wish your team on Trevor Lawrence, rather. As one who doesn't like the Giants, I'm rooting for your team. And also, has anyone ever told you that you kind of look like Ron Rivera? Yes, I get this all the time. Yes. Ron Rivera and the other guy, the guy from Gil Birmingham, I think his name. I get that all the time. But yeah, I'd love to play Ron Rivera in the future as some kind of, if we win a Super Bowl, I'll play him in the movie. All right, that's the next one here. It's J Dog says Packers and Browns won yesterday. I'm content. Happy for you, Jay. Chris Taylor says you have to give Thanos credit. He was playing with a heavy heart after killing his stepdaughter. LOL. Hey, look, Brett Favre threw 5 touchdown passes after his dad died. So, I don't know. Thanos. I'm just saying. I don't know if I can judge Thanos. I don't know if I can give him some credit. You got to. Brett Favre was pretty amazing. 5 touchdowns on Monday Night Football.
Michael Jordan won a fucking playoff game after his own.
He got murdered due to his gambling debts.
Yeah, Jordan's dad died. He won a title. So I don't know what you're saying, man. Thanos, I don't know if I give him so much.
I'm just saying he made the sacrifice personally. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what he was planning on doing, your resolve better be quick, fast, and in a hurry, my guy.
Exactly. Cost him everything. Philosopher King says, y'all called the Browns, quote, mathematically eliminated after week 1, and they clowned your predictions pretty hard. Sure. So you need to give them a bit more credit and respect on their name. I think we covered that with Philosopher King already. But yeah, absolutely. We respect them for now, certainly, and we'll see what happens. But if they lose the next 4 games, ain't no respect in that.
I didn't even say that. I said cool. What is fine? You said that. I said bet. I bet you they fuck it. They'll run the table. They make the playoffs. Bitch, can you win a playoff game? Yeah. After that, can you win another playoff game? After that, can you win another playoff game? And then after that, can you win the final playoff game, the motherfucking Super Bowl? That's what I asked you. Well, okay? Can you even win one playoff game is my question, because it's a different beast. It's the same animal, a different beast. I'm done having this conversation about the Browns.
Let's say, as a man whose team is currently on a 6-game losing streak.
For a guy who claims to not want to talk about his Bears, you bring him up a lot. Last one here, 85 Bears. Oh, shit, the 85 Bears donated. They said, did Winston and Jay hit up a 2-for-1 sale at the glasses store? There you go. Come on, guys. You got to come up with something better than that, for God's sakes. Come on. All right. Send in more of your StreamLabs and Super Chats throughout the show here. We got about an hour left in the show. Send them on. We want to laugh. We want to have a little fun. All right. Let's move on here to our next game, and that's the Packers. They withstood a late rally from the Philadelphia Eagles to win 30-10. Aaron Jones was a beast. He ran for 130 yards yesterday and delivered a game-clinching 77-yard touchdown with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left as the Packers sacked the Eagles 7 times and withstood a comeback because Jalen Hurts was put in the game and they sat Carson Wentz. This is monumental when you think about the fact that it was only, 3 or 4 years ago that Carson Wentz was leading these Eagles into the playoffs with one of the best records we've seen in the NFL in quite some time. And almost, if it was for that injury, would have been the quarterback of name to maybe beat the Patriots. It was Nick Foles who came in. So people were high on Carson Wentz, but these last few years of injuries, being in and out of the lineup, Nick Foles stepping in again last year or 2 years ago and almost taking him to another NFC championship. Kind of crazy to see all of this happen now and not being benched for Jalen Hurts. Winston, Is this do you think this is a permanent benching at this point? Because the Eagles will probably be out of it. Do you think they'll just go with Jalen for the rest of the year and then decide what they're going to do with Carson at the end of the year? Or do you think Carson will come back into the starting lineup?
I mean, I think this is one of those things where, remember what I said about like I like watching Eagles fans suffer a little bit?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things that like when they were so quick to say, this is the guy, like give him the dollars, like Carson Wentz look dangerous, like blah blah blah. I was like, like I don't know about all that. Like on top of the fact that that first injury came in, I said, I don't know, fam.
Yeah.
And now look at him. Yeah. And I don't wish ill on individuals as far as like that fucking sucks, man. Like this dude just trying to like play well, have a legacy, provide for his family, etc., etc.
Yeah. Well, he got a legacy.
And that's the sad thing. Nobody wants to have the Jamarcus Russell legacy. Bro. Nobody.
Man, there's no need to.
But what I'm saying is Carson is not that. He's not even close to that. But you don't want to trend that way. You want to trend towards a Brady and a Breeze, not a Jamarcus and like who's another Quincy Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want that.
Who's the guy?
Vince Young. Oh no,
Vince Young.
You don't want a Jamarcus or a Vince Young. You want to be Brady or Breeze, which is sad. I just named two black quarterbacks. Oh no, Jesus. Oh God.
They said like people been playing, and we just proved.
Oh God. So like, all I'm saying is this: is that like as a Cowboys fan, this is hilarious. Don't you mean Russell the Hut? Would that be more apt to call him Russell the Hut? But I don't wish ill on Carson, but to see the Eagles continuously be such a trash organization, misery loves company, man. The more the Cowboys are a trash organization, the more that the Washington football team is a trash organization, the more that the New York Giants are a trash. Am I wrong though? The New York Giants are a trash organization. It makes me happy to see that we all just down here just scrapping for what was that called in the league? It was the Shiva, and then it was the what was the Sacco?
The Sacco.
I love to see that we all still scrapping for the Sacco, bro. So like y'all put all this money on Wentz, and then Wentz about to pop, and then you gonna have all this dead money you still got to pay. You can't afford to pay nobody else. I couldn't be happier, man. But like, it just sucks for Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying? That sucks.
Absolutely. Jay, any 2 cents on this one?
No, y'all can have that in your division. Go ahead.
I thought you were going to bring up Chase Daniel or one of the. Well, who's that Notre Dame quarterback y'all had on the Bears? Y'all had a couple now. Rick Meyer, right? Just asking.
Oh, they named some bad white quarterbacks. The old Carr brother.
So Ryan Lee was up.
Oh yeah, David Carr.
David Carr, who's still in the league apparently. I can't remember who he's backing up right now, but he's backing somebody up right now.
Wow.
Mark Sanchez, whose ass is now he's on ESPN as an analyst. You know what I'm saying?
Johnny Manziel. Let's add it to the list. Johnny Manziel, because remember we were so high out of Manziel coming out of Texas A&M. And
so high that Drake made a fucking song about this nigga.
Made a song about him and got into the league, and everybody was like, so somebody want to call Aubrey Graham and tell him to take that song down?
That's a great question. Does a Browns fan, they want to talk a lot about them? Y'all want to talk about where you've been since you started from the bottom, now you're here? You want to talk about some Johnny Manziel?
Y'all really at the bottom. I mean, we're going back to the bottom as the Bears.
Bro, because remember, they had that jersey with the list. They just kept they just kept adding names to the bottom of the jersey and shit. So, like, you got to enjoy while you're here, but, like, stay humble, my friends. Like, don't all of a sudden, look at me, I got a show, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, fuck all these little ass people. Yep. Remember where you came from. Right?
That's right. You know what that is. Right, that's right.
We losing recipes.
Oh, God, I hope they don't ding me. But that was 6 seconds. I think I can get away with that one, Jay. 6 seconds.
You got it, bro. I gotta send Rocha that we lose the recipes. You see that, right, Rocha?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Losing recipes.
It's an old clip from NFL Network with Michael Irvin and Warren Sapp.
That's what's wrong with the kids today. The girls, they don't learn from the moms. We losing recipes.
Warren Sapp is like, what about
Oh my god! Did you see that DK Metcalf stiff arm this weekend? Yeah, it was a good stiff arm, but it didn't get him a touchdown or break him free for a big gain. He did give a good stiff arm, but it only got him 2 or 3 extra yards. So yeah, it was rough, but it wasn't like what the Skittles did when he was rumbling for that touchdown against the Saints. That's a fucking stiff arm.
I feel like you just don't want to call that man his name. Just say Skittles. Skittles.
I like saying Skittles. It's a good name to have. It's a good nickname to have. It's an unusual nickname for a running back, to say the least.
That's a real thug right there. Yeah, what's his name? Skittles. Should I call him Skittles? Like
Delicious. My name's Delicious. No, dog.
The funny,
I'm not calling him
Delicious. I ain't gonna go, man. Delicious. That's one of my favorite things about watching.
What
did you have with losing recipes, Jay? Is that why I can't find it?
I got it.
Yeah, I
got the cut of it.
You got to send it to him. He needs that as a because I have nigga hush. You have losing recipes.
Of course you have. It's like I have nigga hush.
Also, Derrick Henry stiff arms are the stiff arms to watch, bro.
Yeah,
I remember at one point, who did he turn around? One of the former Legion of Boom turned that motherfucker around and use him like a fucking riot shield to like run forward with the shit. Like the fact that Old Spice has made a commercial for him now, where it's supposed to be him and Madden. He's running, dudes are holding on. He's running through parking lots. Yep. He's running like at one point he's on the treadmill, be like, "Yo, Derek, you done running anytime soon?" He's like, "Nah, dog, I got way more to go." Like, fuck. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, just to give a little love to Aaron Rodgers, he went 25 of 34 for 295 yards. Also, he got to touchdown number 400 in his 193rd career game. That's faster than any other player. He has 36 touchdown passes this year and is the first player to throw at least 35 in 5 separate seasons. Wow. That is better than Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Favre, Marino, Phillip Rivers, any quarterback you can name, Montana, all of them. Rodgers is ahead of him for that. Pretty incredible. And Devontae Adams got himself 10 passes for 121 yards. He has scored in 7 straight games to tie Hall of Famer Don Hutson's franchise record. Hudson had a pair of 7-game TD reception streaks in 41-42 and in 1943-44. So we go way back on a lot of these records over the last couple of games here. Pretty incredible stuff.
John, check your email, please.
I shall. All right. Jalen Hurts went 5 of 12 for 109 yards with interception, but it did throw a touchdown pass as well. Carson Wentz for the game was 6 of 15 for 79 yards. Those are Cam Newton numbers. That is not good.
Bro, you petty. You so petty. You petty. I couldn't even say nothing else. You petty. You so petty. Oh my God, you were so petty. Oh, you were so petty.
Oh, look, I scored from 1 yard.
It literally is Cam Newton. Cam is literally 12 and 19 for 69 yards.
This is a horrible number.
Yards, 1 throw touchdown, and then 48 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Jesus Christ, Cam Newton.
Let's move on to that. How did they win 35-0?
45-0.
45-0. How did they beat the Chargers when Cam Newton had 79 yards passing? Because
Stidham threw a fucking touchdown in 61 yards. Jesus Christ, bro. I just
45-0, man. I just don't understand how they're able to do this in spite of Cam. It's in spite of Cam.
You remember when Justin Herbert was supposed to be the truth?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then they went and stabbed the black quarterback in his lungs and shit with his own rib cage. And you know what I'm saying? And now he can't play. And now that's karma. You know what that is? That's black. That is black Jesus. That is black Jesus.
What do you want me to do with it?
The lug was like, oh shit. We can put something on this. We can just hold your breath. Oh, don't breathe. Oh shit. My job.
Bro, that was black Jesus saying you ain't just gonna come out here and stab the few black quarterbacks that we have that are doing okay.
It is wrong.
You just not gonna do that, okay? So black Jesus said, and go ahead and cuss your team. So 45-0 to Cam Newton, who's playing like this. Come on now.
Yeah.
Also, what that means is teams are starting to study the game tapes on Justin Herbert.
Good point. Yeah, they're eventually going to catch up to
tapes. Yep. Yes, like now because again, at first there was no tape on the kid. Like he comes out, boom, and you're like, I don't know what happened. And you need a couple of games to really figure like this is his gameplay now. So now teams are able to plan for him. But again, this Patriots from this season, 45-0.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I was shocked it's not like the Patriots defense was burning people up all year. I mean, they played well, but not so much to blank someone like Justin Herbert, who, by the way, was dropping yardage, not necessarily victories, but certainly was dropping yardage on a lot of teams coming into this game. And now what the Patriots have done with this, now the Patriots are in a mix for a possible wild card. They're going to win that division, but wild card is certainly in play for these Patriots. And that's kind of scary to think about because they were pretty much dead and gone about 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And now they've been going on this streak. And here we go again with this coaching by Belichick. If this defense now carries this Patriots team, and remember, we've talked about this a number of times, 8 to 10 players opted out of the season who were starters for the Patriots on the defensive side of the ball. It'll be an incredible coaching job by Belichick for sure.
14 caught passes in an entire game.
Yeah.
Total?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to say, the fact that the Patriots won this game 45-0, there are a couple of those Bostonian fans who was like, get this nigga, keep this nigga. Like all of a sudden they take, because we do remember when we were talking about how bad he was playing, and we knew what the New England fans was gonna do. Like again, we're just being realistic here. And now all of a sudden you have this happen. No matter how low the yardage is, he's still the quarterback, the head of the team. Yeah. And so you're like, keep the darky around.
Whoa! I mean, the fact that he's averaging 3.6 yards a pass, that's not in this game. Yeah, 6 yards a pass. That's not, bro. That's bad. Yeah. I want to see what his overall stats are for the year. What he's averaging. He's only averaging.
Can't be pretty. It can't be pretty.
Okay, hold on. No, stop talking. Get out of here. So 7.2 yards. He is averaging 7.2 yards a pass.
Yeah, but I don't think he's averaging that over the last few games. So I think maybe that's
no. Over the last
few games.
So in December, 3.6, which I guess there's only been one game. There's only been one game in December.
Okay.
So,
what was it in November? Well, he was out with COVID with a couple of.
So the last 5 games, he's 6.4.
Oof, yikes.
I
could throw 6.4 for fuck's sake.
You can average 6.4 yards a game, Rocha.
That's a slant. I'm saying that's a slant. You could just throw 10 slants and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is something else to note for record side of things. Cam Newton, he got himself 2 touchdowns here, rushing himself. He has 11 rushing touchdowns on the year, making him the first quarterback with 3 seasons of at least 10 rushing touchdowns. He had 14 with Carolina in his rookie season, and then 11 in 2015 when they went to the Super Bowl, and he was named MVP. So pretty, at least that's great stuff from Cam doing his thing, and we'll see what happens. One last thing. Also, Belichick, this was his 455th game as a head coach, moving him past Tom Landry, of all people, for 3rd in NFL history. He's also 3rd in wins with 309 wins. So that's pretty incredible. Shout out to Belichick and the Patriots there. Yeah.
I would like to say, when it comes to Cam, though, you just were talking about his touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah.
Cam is a football quarterback LeBron.
Yeah.
He's one of those quarterbacks where you're like, damn, this is a horse charging at me.
Yeah.
And he knows it. Knows it. Like,
he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. He knows it. You don't have that many quarterbacks that's stacked and mobile, and when they can move and power through people. So, you want your quarterback to be able to throw it downfield, get these 60, 70-yard passes that lead to touchdowns or, things like that. But if he can sit there and get your ground yardage and get you touchdowns on the ground, it's a catch-22. You don't want him running because you don't want to risk it, but it's like, he can do it.
Right, exactly. Tushka saying Rocha out here thinking he could play in the NFL. LOL. I'm not saying I could play in the NFL. I'm just saying.
Rocha playing the flag football league.
Just to go like the polar opposite. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has had like a quietly good season this season.
He might win the MVP quietly.
quietly, but like he's averaging 8.2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big difference. I think Cam has barely over 600 yards. Aaron Rodgers has 3,395 yards with 36 fucking touchdowns over 4 interceptions. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the idea of a rushing quarterback, but you're still a quarterback, which means you need to have at least decent throwing numbers, you know? Because then like the comparison you look at would be like more like the Mahomes or the Wilsons of the world. And even with Russell Wilson having a bad string of games, he at least was balling out of control as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Before that, you know?
I mean, he wasn't. Right?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. There
I gave you the whole clip too. I gave you the whole.
I know you did, but I'm scared to play 6 seconds.
No, you can play it. You can actually play
the NFL, man. I don't trust you.
No, we do it all the time.
We do it all the time. You can play it.
I've been getting strikes like this, driving me crazy. All right, fine.
This is what's wrong with today. The young ladies today, they're not learning from mom how to cook. We're losing recipes, and now we're going to.
The logic with the world today, the black ladies today ain't learning from mom. We're losing recipes.
But again, Warren's that face the whole time is like,
the recipes.
He's like, you're not about to get me fired. That's what he's looking at him. You go ahead and go get yourself fired. I'm not going to get fired agreeing with you on this one. That's crazy. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the last game here, and that is the Colts. They took care of business against these Texans here, 26-20. Phillip Rivers bouncing back after that loss to the Titans, and they held their own for sure. The Texans did. Almost came close to pulling this thing out. They were there on the 2-yard line or whatever. They had driven down with less than a minute left, and then Deshaun fumbled a low snap, and then Anthony Walker pounced on it to preserve the victory for the Colts. Deshaun Watson afterwards, I don't know if you saw the post-game press conference, he was emotional, man. He was crying. Not crying like bug, but just crying like emotional about it because he said he's just tired of losing. He says, I've never experienced this extended amount of losing. And it's true. If you look at his career as a quarterback, high school, he was a killer. In college, he won a national championship. And so to him, being on this team has been a hell of a wake-up call, having to live through the Bill O'Brien era. And you wonder, he signed that massive new contract before the start of the season. You wonder if he wants to even stick around if they're not going to find a coach that understands how to take this kid to the promised land, because this kid certainly has talent. The problem is he hasn't had the coaching around him to take him to where he needs to go. I mean, Belichick would go crazy for a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. So I don't know what the Texans are going to do at this point, but this is good. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
That contract.
What's that?
The question will become who wants to eat that contract.
Right.
Let's say he wants to go. Let's say he's like, yo, I want to go. Do whatever you got to do to trade me. The question becomes, who's willing to eat the contract? Now, yes, if you got a Deshaun Watson with the right coach, you take a chance with it, but you got to argue the best coaches right now with the best level quarterbacks aren't going to drop who they have. Belichick might give Cam another year.
Yeah, he probably will at this point. I mean, who's out there dancing around that you want to go get, for God's sakes, that is going to be leaving his team that could be a good player for you? Deshaun is possible. Deshaun, you're right, Jay. It's a 4-year, $156 million extension, which he signed before the beginning of this season back in September, with a maximum of $160 million through incentives of the last weekend. So it's insane. He's getting $39 million per year to play quarterback, and a $27 million signing bonus is what he got when he signed it. So insane numbers for him money wise, but who's going to want to take that on? And are they going to find the right people to take it on? Yeah.
Zion said it best. The Rams should take him. I can see him I can see Sean McVay doing with Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if the Rams get Deshaun Watson,
that's a whole.
The Rams, in my opinion, start becoming the favorites out of the NFC West from now on. Because Russell is mad good.
Yeah,
but again, we've talked about how suspect that offense is. If it's not him, they can't seem to string it together, and their defense is a far cry from the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
So if the Rams, who have an amazing defense, but their offense is suspect because the run game is pretty good, but Goff really is just kind of a game manager. He's never shown up to be that guy. Oh my God. If they have Deshaun Watson, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Boy, it would change the whole complexity.
with their receivers and Darrell Henderson, who's coming on as a very strong running back for them in his rookie season. That'd be a hell of a combo for Deshaun to be going there. So Daniel Haygood says, have me on the show so you can make fun of a Chargers fan in addition to a Bears and Cowboys fan. Okay, sure. Pay $100 a show. You come on. Xavier Black Wiley says, Watson, hashtag Texans fan. I mean, what are you saying? I don't know what the means. What does that mean? Are you mad at him, or do you think he's not?
No, I think he's saying that he's a Texans fan, and he's just saying that, like, man, that hurts.
Yeah.
That's what that kind of reads like.
What if he jumped to Indianapolis? Imagine that, a dome with that defense and that running back. Is that possible? Marlon Mack and all those guys.
You got some teams some people who need to be in like high profile cities. Again, despite it, the Texans, you're in Houston.
Yeah.
It's not a 1, 2, 3, but it's in like the top 5 or 6 teams, cities to be in. He's the type of person that belongs under those bright lights.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think he's being wasted down there in Houston. I don't know what coaches are even hanging around out there. Maybe Bieniemy, maybe these other coaches they bring in to replace Bill O'Brien permanently for next year.
Bro.
I wonder who's out there. Yeah.
Can you imagine being like in the careers that we have, right? Can you imagine being a guy that you make it to the big show?
Yeah.
And you even are constantly getting nominations for like Emmys and Oscars and shit, but you never fucking win.
Yeah.
You never really get to that shit. You are just that guy that is always somebody else's stepping stone.
I know.
What do you call that in wrestling in there? Like you use
you're almost
no. When they typically do that to older wrestlers, but when you put a new guy on,
it's a mid-carder. It's a
mid-carder enhancement talent.
Enhancement talent.
Yeah, enhancement talent. Can you imagine essentially that's what Watson is? Watson's playing a baller ass game, but then when you go down and beat Watson, it's like, damn, like they beat Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson out here like, can a nigga get a victory? Like, shit.
Yeah. No, I know, but Marlon's coming back, IMAX. Marlon's coming back. So.
But you know what it is? It's called the Leonardo DiCaprio before he had to get raped by a bear to win an Oscar.
Oh, yikes.
A bear had to fuck him for him to get an Oscar.
Right. Susan Lucci said, Devontae Smith said, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Oh my God. Erica Kane from All My Children. Oh,
yes.
She would be nominated She was a perennial nomination for everything they could with a soap opera and would never win.
Oh, that's so sad, bro.
True.
That would have been like 50-time Emmy nominated. Like Jake Washington is up for 50.
Come on, man, why put it on me?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm having a rough day. I ain't putting no more people on me, bro. I can't do it. Bro.
How would he go say something? You nominate me 50 fucking times. I'm not going to the ceremony no more. I'm not. Hey, man,
the one time you went on 51 and shit, you ain't even there to give, like, you were there the 50 other times. Right. And that was the time when you were like, I'm not falling for this shit no more. I'm outside. And then Susan, come on up. What the
I'd love you to come up, you pull out your speech, and it turns to dust because you've been saving it for 50 years to try to win this.
I'd like to think, bro, you pull that shit out, it goes full Thanos on your ass. It's like, I like to think, bro, oh my God. 18 failed nominations before she won. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. 18 fucking 19 fucking dresses, 19 press tours, 19 fucking red carpets. I really hope I can win. What a strong set of people in this category this time. 19 times that camera. Zoom in on me real quick, Rocha. 19 times of like, and.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
how do I do this?
Click on my little face down there.
There we go.
19 times of Susan Lucci for Days of Our Lives. You know what I'm saying? And the winner is, and I get ready to click on Jay Washington. You know what I'm saying? And then it pops up, and you just like, and then come back to me, and I'm like, 18 fucking times, bro. 18. Holy shit. Poor Susan. I'm glad she eventually got that chip, bro. My God, she's the Buffalo Bills of Emmy actresses. Like,
yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Bills, take that as a thing. Y'all rolling this year. Maybe this is the year that you Susan Lucci this bitch and go get your motherfucking Emmy, get your Emmy, son. Get your Emmy, Bills.
Get your Emmy. Or Glenn Close, who's been nominated how many times? Has never won. Same thing. Glenn Close.
Oh my God. Amy Adams, bro. Amy Adams been nominated how many fucking Oscars and never won either? No, she still hasn't won. Amy Adams?
Amy Adams?
No, still hasn't won. Still hasn't won.
Maybe she won for The Fighter, but I don't think so. You might be right.
No. She's still.
No, she's never won. You're right. Nope. She's been nominated 6 times.
6 fucking times. Never won.
Best supporting actress 5 times and best actress once and has never won.
Again, that's like any movie Meryl Streep is in. She just know. All right, so they be like, and that's a wrap on Miss Streep, and she'd be like, I know. All right, I'll see y'all when the nominations come out for the Oscars. They'd be like, every movie Meryl Streep has been in. Like, it's just.
Glenn Close, same thing. 7 nominations, no victory. 7. She's been nominated. Her first nomination was in 1983. Her last one was in 2019.
Oh my God, bro. Let this woman live. Fuck y'all.
This is what happens to those, though. And they don't do this in sports. We all seen it. Actors who consistently get nominated and everything, they end up getting too close.
Oh no!
That's not
that is so funny. But what they do is they give them those Sesame Mill Awards, those Lifetime Achievement Awards. They give them the honorary Oscars. Who's like, you ain't never win shit for really doing it, but you got a body of work. Like that's how they get.
Bro,
I'm going to get that on her in memoriam.
I'm just looking at this shit, and it's so wild because her streak was when she was in her peak, bro. 83, 84, 85, 88, 89. Silence till 2012, and then silence again till 2019. Like, just fuck, man. Was she got to get attacked by a bear too? Like,
Leo got fucked by that bear. The bear in the Revenant should have been nominated for the Oscar. Let's be real.
Well, like that's the thing. Leo had earned that Oscar. I actually didn't think he earned it in The Revenant. He had earned it in so many other fucking movies.
Yeah, it wasn't The Revenant was the one he was supposed to get it in.
I don't think so. Because seven nominations, one on the 7th. But like, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? One way or the other. The Aviator, one way or the other. But Blood Diamond, Wolf of Wall Street. Fuck, he didn't even get nominated for Django, did he? He should have been fucking nominated for Django. He was fucking phenomenal in that.
Yeah, because you had Leo having to say the N-word, and he was uncomfortable. Like Leonardo DiCaprio's own record said he was hella uncomfortable having to look at Samuel L. Jackson, and Jamie Foxx was like, "That's my nigger," and it was like,
he should have won for Wolf of Wall Street. I'll never get past that, bro.
Oh my God, when that speech, when they think he's gonna.
I'm never gonna leave it.
It starts out so calm. He's like, you know what? I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Dude, that was the year that McConaughey won. That was the year McConaughey won. I don't agree. I didn't agree with it. Like McConaughey did a great job. He did a great job for Dallas Buyers Club, but Leo had him, bro. That was whack. That was whack.
I thought so too. I think Jared Leto deserved it for Dallas Buyers Club for sure when he got it.
But
McConaughey, I think, I agree. I think DiCaprio should have got it. That's a 3-hour movie, and he carries that fucking movie, man. He's incredible.
I'm never gonna leave it. God, I fucking love that movie.
He tried to do it again for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they thought he was going. It was like, no, we're not doing this one.
But either way, I'm so sorry, gentlemen. I got to go run. It's the IG show. I got to get ready for that. So
tell people what time the show is.
Yeah, of course. So follow me at the Swaggy Blurred right there. You see below you. The IG show starts at 4. So as soon as this show wraps up, come on over to the Schmodown Entertainment Network. We're talking what constitutes a Christmas movie. We're going to be using Batman Returns as our starting point. But if you want to get in and you want to let us know what you think, come in. Throw around some super chats and shit. Let us know. Send some super chats here. Send some StreamLabs here. Like Rocha,
please.
Like we need it here too. But if you want to get in your 2 cents about what you think Christmas movie rules imply, that's what we're talking about today. So with that, I'll see you later.
Who's your guest?
Oh, Saul.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to have a long talk with Saul about how he can't swear on that show. So I'm gonna go do that for the next 30 minutes. That's why I need 30 minutes to fucking get him to understand that. So all right, y'all.
Organism. All right, respect, Winston.
Later. Peace.
Bye. All right, there. We're going to leave the graphics up, Jake, so fuck it, man. All right, let's keep going here. Oh, no, let's go to our two-shot. We like going to that two-shot.
Let's go to the two-shot.
Let me grab the background here for us. Boom. Yes, hell yeah. All right, let's keep going here. We got a super chat that came in. Jacob Hunt wanted to know, how about the Broncos making a push for Watson with Miller possibly leaving with his player option? It would free up money to bring in Watson.
It means they don't give a shit about Drew Lock anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They don't.
I mean, in order to do that, granted, we just saw what happened last week when they had all four go out due to COVID, but Drew Lock is supposed to be their guy. And it becomes this question of, yes, this is a top tier talent that's available to get, but do we sacrifice who we're betting on right now? Yeah. Because we know we're not there. We hope we can get there, but unless you're in a win now phase, certain teams are in win now mode,
right?
And that would be what would determine it.
Yeah, and I also think you have to look at the coach. I don't know if I trust the coaching staff to be the coaching staff for Deshaun Watson in this situation. I think he's got to go to a great coach or a damn good coach that he really feels a kinship with, a connection with. I think McVay is a possibility over there in LA. I think a Shanahan in San Francisco. I think those are possibilities to play around with. There are a couple other spots.
I think Shanahan could do something amazing with him, to be quite honest.
Right? I mean, it'd be incredible.
And I know 49ers fans now are, they're up and down on Jimmy G.
Yeah.
But if you have the opportunity to replace Jimmy Garoppolo with Deshaun Watson and let Mike Shanahan, who in his first year head coaching went to the Super Bowl, regardless of what happened, you let that happen.
I think so too, brother. I 1,000% agree with you. You let that happen. I don't know why you wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense for sure. We'll see. All right, let's see if we got any more StreamLabs or Super Chats that have rolled through. Please keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. We got half an hour, a little bit less than half an hour left in the show. Would love to end strong. So send some positive StreamLabs and Super Chats. Oh, J-Dog, yikes. Drew is not a lock to stay in Denver. Yee, Jay. Ooh, yeah. You go drop that trash in Ben Goddard's stream. Not in this stream, for God's sakes. He loves them dad jokes. All right, one last big game in our first block here. Jesus Christ, an hour and a half in. The Chiefs rallied to beat the Broncos here, 22-16. Jay Patrick Mahomes threw for 318 yards and a score. Harrison Butker was perfect on 5 field goal attempts, and the Chiefs defense bailed out their offense that was struggling against this Broncos defense and made it possible for them to win 22-16. Travis Kelce had 8 receptions for 136 yards and a touchdown late in the third quarter. Drew Lock was picked off twice by Tyrann Mathieu, and the Chiefs are now 11-1 for the second time in their franchise history. Also, Melvin Gordon for the Broncos ran for 131 yards on 15 carries. But, Jay, this was a tighter than expected game. Is this just kind of a divisional thing? We kind of brush this off and we move on with the Chiefs still pretty much Super Bowl favorites? Or are the Chiefs getting – I know they're 11-1, but they've been struggling to get these victories, Jay. Are they getting more and more exposed week to week? What do you think?
I've said it before repeatedly on the show. I don't think the Chiefs are getting exposed. I think the Chiefs are not playing at their full potential yet. Wow. I think they're intentionally not playing at full potential.
Okay.
They play just enough to win.
Yeah.
They play just hard enough to win. And then it's like, all right, we're good. Because again, you might have seen 1 or 2 games this entire season with a Patrick Mahomes show up and show out moment. You might have seen 1 or 2. You haven't seen a repeated amount of that. This is literally going to be, they're playing, all right, let's get to the playoffs because they're locked. We know we locked in the playoffs now. We're here. Boom. Now we got to keep this seeding because that becomes the next thing. Okay, cool. We just got to win it to keep number 1. We can get the bye, let everybody heal up, do what we got to do, then play for real, play like we've been playing. I don't think it says they're being exposed. Granted, yes, there's footage on everybody. There's ways to know what the Chiefs will do, but I don't think. I think it's just they're literally like, yo. I think they're literally just like, we're gonna play enough to win. Yeah, there's some teams that are gonna give them. There's some teams that are gonna give them a run for their money. It's gonna happen, but it's all about what great champions do to overcome that.
Yeah. I agree with you 1,000%, man. That's what I see when I look at this thing. I think the Chiefs are pretty much set. They're locked in. You might be right. The great ones, Belichick never showed his full playbook during the regular season. He always held some stuff back. Andy Reid is a long-time coach in the NFL. he understands. He knows he can win with just the right amount of plays that he's got per game and still already be scheming. He's probably already scheming some new plays and some the full potential of this offense for all the teams that he could potentially face in the playoffs. He's already scheming, got a whole separate playbook probably to set all this up with Mahomes and all of them. So I'd be excited for that. So we shall see. So we'll just see. I mean, but the Chiefs, they're the first team to clinch a playoff berth. So this season. So
actually, they're not. No,
they're not.
Who else Saints are. Saints are.
Oh, okay.
Saints were the first to clinch.
Right.
Saints clinched it when they won earlier. Then the Chiefs clinched.
Oh, I see. When they won earlier in the game in the day.
Yeah.
All right. Just to update you right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are up 14-0 on my Washington football team. Shout out.
What quarter?
It's a second quarter going into the half. They're up 14-0. Oh, joy. Chris Taylor wants to know, Jay, what are your thoughts on Sting's AEW debut?
As long as Steve Borden is not getting in the fucking ring, I don't care.
You're all for it as long as he doesn't get in the ring.
I mean, it's like the problem is that Sting is predicated on being action. That Sting isn't I sit around at the side of the ring and manage, or I sit at the commentary table. That's not this Sting. That Sting is at 61 years old, he might have had the same surgery that Edge had, but am I still wanting to see 61-year-old Sting try to get in the ring with a bunch of young, hungry guys? Because they have a few older guys on the AEW roster, but the majority are younger guys. No, Lord. I mean, again, I honestly believe Sting will have a match.
Yeah.
I really don't want to see it, but it's gonna happen. And he'll have one of those cinematic matches in AEW. Like everybody's been doing the cinematic type matches to adjust for COVID, which in many instances have been great. Yeah. Let's just be real. Yeah. They barely disappointed. So let's go.
Yeah. All right. Les York wants to know, do we need to reevaluate how we view head coaching hires? I was when my Giants hired Judge, but he has impressed so far. I wanted an offensive-minded head coach, but that doesn't always work out. Example, Matt Nagy. I don't know if we need to reevaluate how we view head coaching hires. It's more a matter of, I think we just got to see what they can do in the situation. And look, sometimes the situation doesn't really show you how good they can be because they are hamstrung by an organization that only has so much money to spend and has maybe gotten fucked over by the previous head coach or previous general manager that gave away their draft picks like candy at a party. So those are those things you have to figure out. You have to I think every case is separate. And I think what we have to do if we're going to reevaluate anything is we look at all the factors involved rather than just the record. Because Belichick was 8-8 come out of those Browns. Nobody really expected him to do what he did with the Patriots. And it's pretty amazing. So you just never know, but you've got to look at every situation on its own. You can't say every situation is the same. It's a matter and compare apples to apples. Matt Nagy's situation may be completely different than Judge's situation. It's just a matter of what was going on both.
Lovey Brown got fired and he was 10-6.
Yep. Lovey Brown got fired. Marvin Lewis, because they got sick of going to the playoffs every year, and they haven't sniffed the playoffs since we bring up the Rooney Rule all the time. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Again, Matt Nagy should be fired. Like, I'm surprised that Nagy and Pace were not fired yesterday. Yeah. Like that. Yeah, they fired Greg Williams this morning after he called that blitz against the Raiders that let them throw that touchdown to win the game. They fired Greg Williams, who is a noted defensive coordinator this morning, the Jets did. But Adam Gase still has a job for some reason. He must have.
Greg Williams is also part of Bounty Gate. So
yes, he was.
Like, right. He's part of Bounty Gate. So it's like, yo, you really
Yeah. I agree. All right, let's see. Let's move on to the best of the rest, Jay. See what your thoughts are here. Carr led the Raiders here, as I just mentioned, to a victory, 31-28, throwing a touchdown pass, essentially a pseudo version of a Hail Mary with 5 seconds left from midfield after the Jets had called a blitz, an all-out blitz, which made no sense at all. And Carr finished 28-47 for 381 yards through 3 touchdowns to win the game. Taysom Hill for the Saints led them to victory over the Falcons here, 21-16. He threw 2 touchdowns. And then Matt Ryan threw for 273 yards himself. Michael Thomas had 105 yards receiving. The Vikings outlasted the error-prone Jaguars here, 27-24 in overtime. Kirk Cousins had 305 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 120 yards rushing. Matt Stafford threw 3 touchdowns and led the Lions back from 10 points down the fourth quarter to beat the Bears 34-30. And Tua came back to return to start for the Dolphins to lead them over the hapless Bengals 19-7. Which game or which players stand out from you from those last few games here, Jay? All right, this is your time. If you want to go off on them, feel free.
I'm going to. I really, I said it earlier in the show, the Detroit Lions have new life in them.
Yeah.
I forgot what their new coach name, their interim coach's name is, but they gave him his first victory ever as a head coach, a come behind victory, which speaks volumes, you know, but the Bears are terrible.
Darrell Bevel. Yeah.
Darrell Bevel. That's what it was. Yeah. The Bears are, that's the one I wanted to, because there's no way you already had the one up, and yes, that means Detroit comes in with a chip on their shoulder to beat them. But damn it, man. Like,
yeah,
that's just, it's unreal. Again, the graphic of you've only scored 7 points in the third quarter one time this entire season. Yeah. And yeah, I also want to talk about that fight with Cincinnati and Oakland. Like, yo, everybody was into it. Like, and that wasn't even one fight. It was multiple fights. Like, it's passions are high, tensions are up. Some teams are like, yo, we know we're not playing for nothing. Some teams are like, we playing for pride, and some are playing for playoff spots.
Yep. All right. I mean, I see that happening with them, and it's a situation where they got to get rid of everybody. You're absolutely right, Jay. Got to get rid of the head coach. Got to get rid of the GM. Certainly got to get rid of Trubisky and Foles. Look, Foles he's never been a good, great, or he's been a decent regular season quarterback. He went on that miracle run in the playoffs, but hey, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, so it can be done. Brett Johnson for the Bucs, it can be done. So it doesn't mean necessarily that translate to years-long success, especially when you've been an essential journeyman for such a long time. So, it just doesn't work there, what they've got. So hopefully they blow it up and get rid of everybody, start all over again.
You got to. It's ridiculous. The OC got to go.
Yeah.
The head coach got to go. The GM got to go. Those two quarterbacks have to go, and you have to, if you're I got to take this call. This is an important call. I'll be right back.
All right, my man. Let's drop Jay. Let me drop Jay out here. All right, let's drop Jay out. He'll come back on when he's ready. All right, let's keep going here. Yeah, I mean, for me, what stands out are the Vikings. I'm going to tell you all this. I think the Vikings have a real possibility, a real chance to sneak into these playoffs. They have been eking out these victories to stay in contention, to slide into these in a wild card spot, and it's certainly possible. Cousins has been throwing that ball all over the place. Dalvin Cook has been running like crazy. Well, let me correct this. Cousins hasn't been throwing the ball all over the place, but he's been trying to get the job done as much as possible as a game manager and a big-time quarterback with that arm of his when it's necessary. Certainly unleashed it on the Jaguars. Dalvin Cook ran as much as he could, but that defense is giving up yards and giving up points. So if anything is going to sacrifice or anything's going to cost the Vikings getting into the playoffs, it's going to be their defense and not necessarily Kirk Cousins or Dalvin Cook, who's been running like crazy. So that's the situation you got to look at there. I'm and the other thing is the Jets. I mean, I think this was my friend Amy Trask, who was, she does the other, the top show on CBS on the app there. She predicted that if the Raiders, and she used to be, one of the CEOs of the Raiders, she said very clearly, like, if they don't pay attention to these Jets, the Jets are going to catch them. And because she said last year, the Raiders walked in swagger into the Jets and the Jets beat them. And sure enough, it felt like the Raiders overlooked these Jets, thinking they were just going to step on them really quickly and win this game. If they don't throw that touchdown, they lose to the Jets and the Falcons in consecutive games in embarrassing ways to teams that have no business being in contention with them. And this is, of course, a few weeks after Carr was crying about the fact that his Raiders, that he was tired of losing. If you're tired of losing, then don't lose. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And they certainly didn't do that. Oh, and they didn't do that against the Falcons last week, which was a whipping 45-3. And they almost didn't do it against the Jets this week, which is pretty crazy. Taysom Hill, shout out to Taysom Hill for his fantastic work that he did there for the Saints. I don't think Jay's back yet. Let me check real quick. No, he's not. All right, fantastic work by Taysom Hill, throwing a couple of touchdowns, and they still barely beat these Falcons. So I think someone put a tweet out like Taysom Hill the Falcons trying to make Taysom Hill look like an MVP quarterback there. So they got the job done, the Saints, and Breeze is still recovering. He is getting closer to coming back, or they're going to I think they're going to try to run some practice stuff with him from what I saw on NFL Live on ESPN earlier today. So they're going to try to see how he's doing in practice, but there's no rush. Taysom is undefeated now, just like Teddy Bridgewater was last year, stepping in for Drew Brees to get the victories here. So, there's no rush to get them going. So we shall see. Oh, yeah, if that run game gets stopped, it's over. Yeah, good point, Munoz. Absolutely. Let's see about these. Are we still 14-0 down? Is that what's going on here? No, 14-3. My Washington football team got themselves 3 points. So, but James Washington is killing it already in the box score. He is 2 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown already. Caught a 50-yard bomb from Roethlisberger from Big Ben there. So, let's see here. Edward says, birthday boy says, John, this was the first time Darnold had all his wide receivers and O-line all season. So many of us Jets fans were worried about the game going in, and when we all were until dumbass called it cover 0. LOL. Yeah, Greg Williams. So they totally sacrificed him. Do you think they should fire the coach, though, Haskell? Do you think they should fire the coach, Haskell? I mean, like, it seems like, he seems like he should be let go as well for the Jets. They don't seem to have anything going on with Gase and everything like that. Like, a lot of people just do not respect Gase at all as a coach, so he should be gone for sure. So, okay, cool. No worries, Jay. Jay said he'll be back in just a second. So, all right, let's move on to this other thing. And look, predictions for the 49ers versus the Bills. I think the Bills win the game later on today. I also think the Ravens do beat the Cowboys. What do the Cowboys have to play for? Not much. As far as the Washington football team, I don't know what to make it. I mean, I guess we'll lose, but maybe, just maybe, we can pull out a victory or an upset victory. We shall see. All right, let's move on to the NBA real quick. Got about 10 minutes left in the show. If you want to send in StreamLabs Super Chats, do it now. We'll have Jay on as soon as he can be on for the last part of the show here. The Houston Rockets, they reached a deal to send Westbrook to the Washington Wizards in exchange for John Wall and a future first-round draft pick. This happened last week, but I want to talk about it on the show at least for a few minutes. So apparently Harden and Westbrook both asked for trades out of Houston, but Houston felt like they could appease Harden easier by letting Westbrook go and bring in a player for Harden to play off of. They looked at John Wall. John Wall's gotten a lot of positive responses to his offseason workouts, his conditioning, the way he looks as he's coming back off those injuries. So they took a chance to make this trade happen. And these salaries are massive. So they had to make it work. I think it was like $40 million each they're getting paid. So, I mean, it's like the Wizards got out from under the John Wall contract necessarily, but maybe they've got themselves the right fit for Bradley Beal. You get a guy who's running and gunning like Westbrook does, and you pair him with a guy who's a nice stop and shoot guy like Bradley Beal, then you've got yourself a better team. As far as the Rockets, I don't know what you get with John Wall and Harden. Both guys need the ball in their hands. I know John Wall has been saying a lot publicly lately that the last few days that like he's not necessarily a ball-heavy guy or ball-dominant guy, that it's exhausting to be the ball-dominant guy for an offense. But I also think he's going to want his points. He's going to want his shots. Is he a stop and shooter? Is he a pass out to the wing shooter? Is he going to be able to drop those shots as a wing player or as a 2 for the Rockets? Or does James Harden take a little bit of a step back and it's John Wall who's leading the offense and Harden is the one sitting out there popping threes? I don't know, but it's an interesting trade for sure. Yeah, say that 5 times. Yeah, but anyway, I like this move. I like Russell. Look, I'm a Wizards fan. I've seen my team go down in the dumps many, many times. So I like the idea of Westbrook coming in here like an alpha dog, taking care of business and running through some defenses, collapsing defenses, pitch, so you can throw it out to Bradley Beal on the wing. I think Uchimura is going to grow because, I think Westbrook's at this point now where he's been in the league so long that he can be a guy for Uchimura there for them. And Bertans as well. I think they'll play off well. There'll be a lot of passing. If Russell can buy in to the passing offense that they're trying to put together. Remember, Scotty Brooks coached Westbrook, so they have a shorthand together, these gentlemen. That's another part of this thing. I want to see what will happen, and we'll see what happens with James Harden. Are they going to make it up? Because James Harden did not show up to the first day of practice here for the Houston Rockets, so I want to see if he shows up. And you had Kyrie Irving over there issuing statements instead of showing up to the media as well there for the Brooklyn Nets. So there's a lot that can happen. Yeah, Westbrook can't shoot, but he can drive the lane and collapse the defense because he sure as hell can drive for layups there, IMAX. So people will collapse the defense and he'll pitch out to Beal or take it himself and score the two. So that's going to be what I think Westbrook brings to the team. We shall see with Westbrook in terms of the defense. I think that's more of a question. I think he'll be just fine being the point on this team. The problem is going to be defensively if he's going to step up, if him and Bradley Beal, Bertans, and all these guys, Uchimura, are they going to be able to step up and have a strong defense to be able to keep games tight, keep games close, and get their points, because I know Westbrook's going to score. That's not going to be an issue. And he never should have gone to Houston. He's not a second banana. He's an alpha. He's a 1A alpha, and he should be the 1A alpha in Washington. And Bradley Beal should be feeding off of him like crazy and get himself into the All-Star game for sure if that works. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How did that work in Houston? Well, it didn't work in Houston because James Harden is not a sit out on the wing, shoot guy. James Harden likes to have the ball in his hand and try to get those fouls and try to weave into the defense. That's not his game. Both these guys, Harden and Westbrook, they crash the paint. Beal doesn't crash the paint. So I think that's the difference. Beal can sit out there and pop those trays and do his thing. So we shall see. The question is, are the Wizards going to be able to attract other free agents who are going to be out there on the wing shooting? Oh, I just noticed that my camera's a little bit off there. Oh, yeah. There we go. All right. Anyway, yeah, it's just something I'm considering. All right. Jay, are you back? Are you back? Are you good to come in? No. Oh, he's having a conversation. Okay, never mind. I'm sure he'll let me know here before I can bring him in the private chat. All right, the last thing we want to get into here, and we'll see what happens with this. We'll see what happens. Both of them are saying nice things. Bradley Beal saying, hey, it was a surprise to me, but I'm excited to work with Westbrook. And Harden saying, this has been a great move. And behind the scenes, it's reported that he had wanted John Wall. He approved this trade. So there's the deal. Apparently these two it's not that they don't get along in real life. They just couldn't get along as teammates in terms of the chemistry of them playing ball together. We've seen that before. Remember the Heat, if they hadn't kind of adjusted things, let LeBron be the alpha, they probably wouldn't have won those two titles that they won against the Thunder and then against the Spurs. So, all right, boxing, last thing. Let's get into this. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has agreed to fight Logan Paul on February 20th. This was announced on his Instagram. It's insane to me. He is a retired former champion, and he will wear the gloves again against Logan Paul. This is madness to me. I don't understand. The bout's going to be streamed as a pay-per-view bout. The first 1 million buys will cost $25, with a price increasing after that threshold is surpassed or the date gets closer. The price jumps to $69.99 starting February. Dude, if you're paying $70 to watch Logan Paul fight Floyd Mayweather Jr., for God's sakes, do something else with your money. Give that money to a homeless shelter or to a charity or to something positive instead of this shit, for God's sakes. This is going to be nuts. Mayweather, remember, he fought Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was at least an established athlete who was a champion in his own sport. Logan Paul is not even that, unless you call YouTube a sport. This is going to be interesting to see. Remember, Mayweather's undefeated. He's 15-0 with 27 knockouts. And of course, Logan Paul fought KSI in a 6-round bout sanctioned by Nevada State Athletic Commission, and he lost in a split decision. And Jake Paul, of course, his brother, knocked out Nate Robinson, which we were joking about a few minutes earlier there. No worries, Jay. No worries. A few days earlier, rather. So, I mean, the Paul brothers getting into the boxing ring, I guess, if this means anything. Yeah, right. If you're still paying for Floyd fights, what is wrong with y'all? Yeah, I don't get this. He doesn't want to come out of retirement to fight Pacquiao or to fight Canelo Alvarez, but he'll come out of retirement to fight Logan Paul. I think nothing says Mayweather is done being a boxer than him coming out of retirement to fight a YouTube personality only. So it's kind of nuts to look at this situation, but I don't know. I guess this is where we're going now as a society, or as I don't know, as a people in this thing. It just doesn't seem that cool to me to see that. He's one of the greats. Why are you stepping down to fight anybody like that? Just doesn't make sense to me at all. So I don't know, kind of crazy. Yeah, Mayweather versus Big Show was more legit than this fight. Yeah, that's a great point, Chris Taylor, than Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Logan lost to KSI. Now he thinks he beat Mayweather. Like, what? Yeah, exactly, money man. That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous to me. I wonder if the only way you can stop this crap from happening is to not buy it. And I wonder if people won't buy these fights and won't buy this situation here, because I mean, also, why is he taking on Logan? If Jake just knocked out Nate, at least for attention's sake, why not take on Jake instead of Logan? So it doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, he's an entertainer. You're right, D Munoz. He's an entertainer, and for sure. And yeah, you say he's a easy bag. Floyd has always been a money man. True. That's if people pay the money. If they don't pay the money, then it's egg on his face and his legacy, which I think is the worst thing overall. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. All right. Anyway, all right. Let me until Jay comes back on, which we might have to wrap the show before Jay's able to come back on. We shall see. Where am I at? I know I've got a solo one up here somewhere. There we go. All right. Well, I guess we'll start to get close to wrapping this thing up. Got about 2 minutes left. You can follow Jay Washington at Mr. Jay Washington on all his social media. You can follow all things. Don't forget about Blurs in the Hood. They're doing great stuff over there. They got Blurs in the Hood YouTube channel and Blurs in the Hood After Dark. Blurs After Dark. That's a fun thing they've got going on as well. Jay is always doing things. Follow him and everything he's got going on in his world and everything he's trying to create. Follow Winston as well at Mr. Swaggy Blurred, all the things he's got going on as well. You can the Errol Spence fight. That's a great point, Randy. The Errol Spence fight. I should have put that on the fucking rundown against Danny Garcia. That was a great fight. Errol Spence really showing no rust off that, I think, car accident that he'd had. He came back and he was sound. He put Danny back in his place. Errol Spence undefeated. Really great fight there to watch. He was tagging him all over the place. Garcia couldn't do much at all. So pretty incredible stuff overall there. All right. And you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you, everybody, for your Streamlabs and your Super Chats throughout the show. Really appreciate that. Keep coming back every week, 2 p.m. live to hang out with us on the Game Time. I'm always happy to have Jay and Winston come on and we can hang out and have a little fun. Look, the world's crazy out there. Being able to do this YouTube show and hang out with my brothers for 2 hours, having some fun and busting balls is always a great thing to experience. And all right, Jay, you come back to say whatever you need to say. All right, Jay, come on back.
Sorry about that. I had some insurance stuff I had to handle, and they kept calling twice. When they called back to back, I was like, I got to take this now. So I apologize. Real quick, guys. Thank you, everybody. That Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul shit is ridiculous, but it's money. That's all it is. Right. And people got to remember that it is all money. You might hate it. I know I hate the idea. We all do, but it is all about money. When at the end of the day. Now, hopefully Floyd knocks him out, but also it's weird because Floyd is way shorter.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah, right.
Floyd is way shorter. Yeah. But with that being said, I know we got to get ready to go. Me and Winston tomorrow, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, Blurs in the Hood. We will be having one of the stars. So if you've seen the new trailer on social media for Lifetime's movie, the Colonel Sanders movie, A Recipe for Seduction, starring Mario Lopez.
Oh, God. Yeah.
One of my best friends is one of the stars of the movie. He will be on Blurs tomorrow to talk about the Colonel Sanders movie. Nice. So you don't want to miss that. Y'all already know Twitter, Instagram for the two of us, all that. Swag Back Thursdays. I believe he's doing that on Thursdays. Swag Day, Fun Day, all that good stuff. Just hit us up. All that good stuff.
There you go. And like I was saying at the end here, follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Hey, it's a new week of programming, so we got all kinds of things coming up here on the Outlaw Nation channel. Don't forget, we got Outlaw Nation show tomorrow night. We got Impolite Truths on Thursday night. Got Geek Buddies on Wednesday, and of course, Strong Style on Fridays and Mornings with the Outlaw as well on Fridays. So look for all that stuff.
Do you take a break? Like I know people ask do I stop every now and then. Like, bro,
Yeah.
you need to pair these for in front of the screen because you do a lot. And I get it, but damn.
Got to pay bills, bro. And, I'm very lucky to be able to do stuff that does pay the bills. And because I'm just about, after we're done, I got about a half-hour break, and then I got to record an episode of the Cinephiles. So it just doesn't end for me. And I've been doing SEN Live this morning, right into this and right into that. And then I'm done for the day. And then tomorrow starts all over again. So, and I apologize to anybody who's been watching the Christmas stuff. I haven't put them up. I will be catching up by putting a bunch of them up, like 2 a day through this week to kind of catch up and get back into rhythm. I went down with getting sick over the weekend a little bit. So I had to kind of bounce back up, and I'm feeling better today. So I'll be ready to do more of these coming up during the week. All right. That's it. Got to get out of here. Much love to you. Thanks to Jay Washington. Thanks to Winston A. Marshall. And thanks to all of you for watching us. And we'll see you next week with another brand new episode of Strong Style here on the, of Game Time here on the Outlaw Nation channel.